Buenos días. Comenzamos Conecta 24 en esta segunda jornada del 24 Congreso Nacional de Hospitales y Gestión Sanitaria, que bajo el lema Liderando la Transformación celebran SEDISA y ANDE con la asistencia de cerca de 3.000 congresistas de toda España. Y contamos con la presencia esta mañana, de Andrea Rapergliosi, Senior Vicepresidente de Public Affairs para Europa, MEA, Canadá y LATAM de Edwards, compañía de líder en tecnología médica. Buenos días, Andrea, y muchas gracias por acompañarnos. Juntos vamos a abordar temas clave como la innovación, el valor en la atención sanitaria y la sostenibilidad, aspectos fundamentales para construir sistemas de salud más eficientes, accesibles y centrados en el paciente. Andrea nos va a contestar en inglés, ¿verdad? Pero será una entrevista muy interesante. La visión de Andrea nos ayudará a entender cómo la colaboración entre industria, profesionales y directivos de la salud y la administración puede impulsar cambios positivos y duraderos en el sector salud a nivel global. Andrea, ¿cómo definirías el papel de la innovación en la transformación del sistema sanitario actual y qué impacto ha tenido en la mejora de la atención al paciente?
Perfecto. Isabel, antes de hablar, perdón, no hablo español, no hablo castellano, la próxima vuelta
sí.
Vamos a intentar. I think the role of innovation is critical in any change that we want to do. The ultimate goal, and the ultimate goal in public health, is to improve the quality of services, the efficiency of how these services are given back to citizens, to patients, and obviously improve also the quality of the life of healthcare workers. Innovation impacts all these aspects. Innovation is able to improve products, impact on patients, outcome of patients, but also the way as healthcare is organized. And how it's organized, it means that can create efficiency gains and also saving resources that can be reinjected in the hospital and the healthcare system.
Y en el caso de los dispositivos implantables disruptivos en los que trabaja Edwards, la innovación aborda una necesidad médica no cubierta, ¿verdad?, en la que no existen tratamientos alternativos o son limitados en resultados. ¿Qué aportan estos dispositivos a pacientes, profesionales sanitarios y directivos de la salud?
Let me start with one point that I think is critical. We have to really get what we were saying before, the impact of an innovation. When we have this breakthrough, innovación de ruptura, importante, injecting in a system. If you think the first heart valve was implanted in 1960. So in 1960, a cage, a metal cage with a little ball was implanted. It took 20 years to have the first biological, and then another 20 years to have the first transcatheter. What is the breakthrough there? Is that instead of doing 4 to 6 hours, a full thoracic open heart surgery with the heart stopped in extra circulation, and having 10 to 12 healthcare workers playing around that, today you do the same intervention without opening the chest of the patient, entering with the catheter, 45 minutes. The patient is 80% just sedate, not full anesthesia with all the complexity, not going to the intensive care, and be released at home in 48 hours. You know, just simple case, you have the impact on patient, the impact on the healthcare workers, and the saving in the healthcare system. That's I think, is really how this innovation can impact and have what the English call triple win. Patient, hospital services, society in terms of budget in general. This is what we look when we talk about this innovation.
Claro, eso significa no solo calidad, sino eficiencia, ¿verdad? Pero, ¿cuáles son los retos que entiendo que hay más importantes para el acceso rápido y equitativo a esta innovación por parte de los pacientes?
I think there is a strong movement at European level where member states, including Spain, are really thinking how to accelerate and focus attention on this type of breakthrough implantable devices, both on the regulatory side, the famous CE mark, so the quality and the safety of the product, and on the health technology assessment, the value, the clinical value of these products. When we arrive then in member states, there's still they look at this innovation with the spectacles of 20 years ago. So systems are not catching up fast. So you enter and you have, like in Spain, another fragmentation with 17 regions, each one with the right to say something. But bottom line, there is one disease, one innovation, one type of studies. So we think that much better coordination, creating some special matching fund that can help central and region, some accelerated access and more better use of real world evidences, which means use and see. Try to see immediately the impact and the changes needed will facilitate the adoption of this innovation, again, for the benefit of patients, healthcare workers, and hospital financing.
¿Qué aporta el caso concreto de la compra pública basada en valor para este acceso?
What is called value-based healthcare is a word that has been a bit overused. And I think we have to go back to the roots, feet on the ground, and start to think how we measure an innovation and we capture this free impact. There is a clinical impact, there is an organizational impact, there is a financial impact. Today, unfortunately, also in my home country, you see, I came from Rome, so which is very similar like Spain, lots of region, 21 region, similar fragmentation. The short-term budget constraint doesn't allow the transformational investment. We were talking before and we said 20 years to get a new innovation. How we measure the next 3, 4, 5 years? We cannot measure in 3 months, which is the impact in 3 months. So you need systems that are equipped, HTA agency, HTA in hospital, that accompany the procurer in order to really measure the impact and the financial impacts. And other things allowed me to say, which is one of the limits of the European Public Procurement Directive, you cannot consider breakthrough implantable devices, but even in the neurological space, think about stimulator for Parkinson, implantables, in the same way as you buy gloves or soap to wash the floor of an hospital. There are products that are more commodity goods, where we may understand the price can be dominant. There are other more complex technologies that needs this multidimensional assessment. And the role of the public procurement, la compra pubblica, is really to coordinate and make really a clear assessment through time of all these dimensions.
Lo has comentado un poco, pero por ahondar más en el tema. Por último, ¿cómo está trabajando Edwards para ser partner del sistema sanitario en España en la implementación de la innovación relacionada con los dispositivos implantables disruptivos?
So, thanks for the question because it's very timely. We work on free access. One, continuous evidence generation. When we do a study, we don't stop. We follow up this patient. For instance, now on a tissue, Resilia tissue for a minimal invasive valve for aortic replacement, we are now at 8 years follow-up. We just presented this data. We continue to, because we feel in order to be partner, we need to continuously provide to the one who is paying the information that that investment is right. Partner means to be transparent, means to continue to generate evidence. One. Second, in the early adoption, We did here in Spain, in Catalonia, an interesting pilot with some fund from Europe called MITMEV, a very awful word, but which is management of aortic stenosis patient, which demonstrated that actually by using a partnership that starts from the early diagnosis, accompany very well-informed patient, simplify pathway of the patient, and then the intervention and the release, you have a saving of about 4,000 euros per patient, per treatment, per implant. So this is another way to partner, because it's really to co-create these pathways together, provided services together with products. And the third element is obviously also on the economic part, continuous generation of evidences in order to understand how an investment can be measured through time. It's not only one shot, because no one would say, allow me, that most probably a BMW car costs more than a Fiat 500, right? That's we all understand. But most probably the Fiat 500 you have to take another 10 times to the garage in the next 5 years, while you don't do with the BMW. And it's exactly the same, what we call rehospitalization. Sometimes you can go for cheaper product that give you the illusion of saving some money now, but then if you have another 5 rehospitalization of the patient, it's bad for the patient, it costs to the system, and it's absolutely ineffective.
Qué importante compartir experiencias, y es un objetivo del Congreso Nacional de Hospitales. Andrea, muchísimas gracias por vuestra participación en el Congreso y bueno, por vuestro compromiso de trabajar en España para que ese trinomio de innovación, valor y sostenibilidad que hemos visto funcione en nuestro sistema sanitario. Andrea, muchas gracias.
Muchísimas gracias.
Y que disfrutes del Congreso.
Y a la próxima en castellano.
En castellano.
Seguro que sí.
Gracias.
Gracias.